Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Pilates Mom, here to bring you about a 25-minute reformer workout. It will include some of our classical mat repertoire, so I was inspired by some of the classical mat work. We are going to be doing one of the exercises with our short box, so make sure you have your short box handy. And other than that, it's just going to be a little bit more full body, okay? Lots of core, lots of arms, and some legs as well. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe below, and I'll see you after the workout. Enjoy. All right, everyone, let's get going. So we're going to start without any springs on. We're sitting kind of right at the base of our carriage with our feet flat on the ground. So we're in a nice, like, kind of 90-degree angle with my knees and with my hips. We're going to just start getting our spine warming up. So we're going to take a few roll downs. Okay, so we're going to take a nice inhale. We're sitting nice and tall. And then exhale, we're going to scoop our belly and start rounding back. Now just remember, there is no spring tension on, so don't let that carriage get out of hand. Keep it still by using your abs. Okay, we're going to exhale as we, inhale as we rise back up. And then exhale as we scoop the belly and articulate your spine down. Good. Inhale to stack back up. Okay, so just use this as a way to just get our spine moving, get our breath moving, get the abs starting to fire in the way we love, right? Which is that low belly scooping, right? And the ribs pulling down. That's it. And then an inhale, stack that spine up nice and tall. We're going to go through from the mat. Classical mat work is our spine stretch. All right, so as we're sitting nice and tall, we're going to take a nice inhale here. Exhale, we're going to imagine we're peeling our spine off an imaginary wall. Our head leads the way as we start to articulate our spine, rolling forward. Our arms stay up by our ears and our belly is scooping way back. All right, and then we inhale, restack your spine back up that wall until you reach all the way up. So we're going to take a nice inhale together. And an exhale, nod that chin down, start to articulate one vertebrae at a time. Arms are reaching up by the ears, belly scooping back and in. Good, and inhale, restack that spine all the way up. We are going to visit this, later in our session with added, tension in our arms with our straps. All right, so I wanted to just get the sequence down here, get our body moving, and it'll be a little bit easier as we flow through the full variation I have planned. All right, and then inhale as we stack back up. Very nicely done. You can let those arms rest. I'm going to bring my feet to my platform, and I'm going to load up all 4 of my heavy springs. So we are going to transition to footwork. We're going to do a little roll down first. All right, but so I would say either 3 to 4 springs, kind of whatever you feel appropriate for footwork. Okay, so what we're going to do next, though, like I said, is a roll down. So I'm going to bring my feet kind of right over the bar. Now you can certainly hold at the back of the knee if you feel like you need a little extra support. And this will be a little trial and error to make sure that we have enough space. So feel free to adjust as needed. I am going to be reaching my hands forward. All right, taking a nice good inhale. So all that roll down that we just did, we're going to do that again. So we're going to scoop the belly as we start to articulate your spine all the way down to your back. Okay, my legs are now straight. We're going to inhale, keep pressing those arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, find that upper ab curl and start peeling your spine back up. The legs can stay straight or bend, whichever is comfortable. Okay, so inhale again and exhale, scoop that belly. Articulate your spine all the way down. Good. And inhale and then exhale. Use your belly. Make sure you're scooping the belly, dropping those ribs. We have 2 more. So an inhale and then an exhale. Good. Once you're down, take another nice inhale through our nose. Let the ribs expand, and an exhale. Let those ribs pull down towards your pelvis. And nice and upright. Last one. We're going to finish on our back. So inhale and exhale. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Very nicely done. Perfect. So let's bring our hands down. I am going to adjust my foot bar so it's a little higher in a position. So make sure that's all set up for you. We're starting right away with our footwork. All right, so keeping it classical, starting in our Pilates V, make sure that toe joint is on, make sure our tailbone is down, our belly is scooping in, and the ribs are pulling down as well. High heel position, here we go. Inhale to press out, and exhale, release. And 2, release. Good, inhale, exhale. 4, 5, nice job. Really push from those glutes. Keep those high heel position. Really work those ankles. Good, last 2. Good, and last 1. Very nice. Close that carriage all the way. Use our belly, lift those knees up to tabletop and lower to our arches. Heels under, toes over. 10 more. Here we go. Inhale, exhale. Nice, and inhale, exhale. Now make sure that low back is not flattening down, right? I see that very, very often as we push out, we lose our neutral spine. So really pay attention to keeping that tailbone nice and long. That little grape at our low back is not smushed. Good, last 2. Nice, and last 1. Very nice. Close that carriage all the way. Lift those legs to tabletop and lower with the heels on. So heels are together, knees are together, neutral spine. Here we go. Inhale, press, and release. Good. Inhale, exhale, and 3. Good. So you should really feel pushing from those glutes. You should really feel those shins pulling up, right? Those muscles are activating because our toes are dorsiflexed up towards our ceiling. Good. Last 4. Last 3. Good. Last 2. Exhale, and last 1. Release. Good. Lift those legs up to tabletop and lower with those toe joints back on the foot bar. High heel position. Legs are still glued together. Tailbone is still reaching long. Inhale, press on out and stay out. Control the heels as you lower and control the heels as you lift. So it's an exhale to lower, inhale to lift. Exhale, inhale, nice. Lower and lift. Right, so we want you to be in control of your movement. Don't let the spring tension quickly bring those heels under. So control it. Use the muscles. Use your strength. Good. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Good. Bend those knees in and hold. We're going to pulse out an inch and in an inch. Out and in. Good. 4. 5. Good. 6. And 7, nice. 8, 9, good. And 10, nice. Inhale, press all the way out. And exhale all the way back in. Bring those legs up to tabletop. Find your upper ab curl and swing yourself up to a seated position. Keep those legs up if you can. And bump 2 springs down or 2 medium springs. We're going to go into some arm work and the 100. I'm going to swing myself back around. Now you can certainly go through that full roll down as we did earlier, okay? Or if you want to try to challenge yourself, lift those legs up and control, 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 control. And we're down. Nice job. Bring those handles into the hands. I have short loops, so I'm using the short loops. Make sure they're not all twisted, which mine are. Here we go. All right. Now we're ready. So we are in tabletop. Okay, so make sure that tailbone is not smushed, right? We want that tailbone reaching long. Now, if you do feel like your hip flexors get a little bit tight, you can always get something in between the knees. That can help, or just bring the knees in slightly, okay? So some modifications for you there. So we're going to take an inhale here and an exhale, press those arms down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press. Good. 3. And press. Good. And press. 1 more and press down and hold it down. Open those arms out wide to the side and exhale, press. So you're using those lats. We're using our core, right? Our exhale in particular, pulling those ribs down, get those upper abs moving. Good. Last 2. Press. Last 1. Hold it here. Inhale, reach those arms up to the ceiling. Open out to a T and exhale, press. So we're doing little circles. Inhale, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, Good. Exhale, one more. Good. And hold it down. We're going to reverse that circle. So inhale to open, close back to the ceiling, and exhale, press. Inhale, open, up to the ceiling, and exhale, press. 3 more. Inhale, open to a T, close to the ceiling, exhale, press. 2 more. Good. And press. Last one. Inhale, close, exhale, press, and hold it down. We're going right into biceps. So inhale as the arms come up, exhale as you press them away. The elbows should stay down on the carriage, and exhale, press. Inhale, exhale. Nice job. Good. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Keep that pelvic floor and low belly muscles working. 1 more. Exhale. Let's do 3 now, adding with an upper ab curl. So we inhale to bend the arms, and exhale, upper ab curl. Good. Inhale, lower the head as the arms bend, and exhale, upper ab curl as you reach. 1 more. Inhale, and exhale, hold. Now let's do our stomach series. So reach one leg long over the foot bar, keep the other knee in, and then switch. And switch. Good. Switch. Switch. Keep breathing. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Last one. Good. And exhale, exhale. Bring both knees in and lower your head, neck, and shoulders down. Good. Take a nice good inhale here. Good. And exhale. Press those arms down. Find your upper ab curl. Extend one leg over the foot bar. Extend the other leg up to the ceiling. We're going into scissors. So we inhale here and exhale, switch. Inhale, switch. And switch. Good. Keep the belly pulling in. Keep that arms reaching long into those handles. Good. Switch. Switch. 1 more. Switch. Switch. Bring both knees in and lower your head, neck, and shoulders down. Take a nice good inhale here. Our final hurrah is our 100 for our abs. Don't worry, there's more to come. Okay, here we go. Inhale here. Exhale. Press those arms down. Find that upper ab curl. Extend your legs if you want, or leave them there. Here we go. Inhale 2. And exhale. 4, 5. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Nice. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale. Keep pushing those hands in those handles. And exhale. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Nice job. Good. Exhale. Keep that upper ab curl. And exhale. Last 2. Good. Exhale. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug those knees in. Lower your head, neck, and shoulders down. Return the arms up. You can let your feet rest on that foot bar. I'm hanging my handles up. I'm holding onto my shoulder blocks, and I'm going to quickly drop my knees to one side. Feel a nice good stretch in our abs. That was a lot of work there. Good. And switch to the other side. Nice. Good. We're going right back into that roll up that we did earlier. Legs extend over the foot bar. Arms reach up and overhead. We're going to take a nice inhale here. Exhale. Upper ab curl. Roll yourself up. Very good. Once you're up, swing those legs around. And we are going to transition into what I was talking about earlier, that spine stretch from our classical mat repertoire. So I just lowered my foot bar a little bit. Okay, we're going to sit back. I think I'm going to keep mine pretty light. I'm going to feel this out. I'm going to keep it kind of light in my arm. So I just have one heavy spring on. So please feel free to adjust. I want this more about the control than kind of powering into our arms. But if you feel like you want to load a little bit more, please feel free to add a spring. Okay, so I'm going to bring my hands back into my short loops. Okay, we're going to just start with a couple arm work, and then we'll add in the spine stretch. So my elbows are bent at a 90-degree angle, and my legs are straight. I don't want you to hyperextend, right? Hyperextend those knees. They're straight, but not, completely. I don't want you to jam into those hip flexors. If you do feel grippy, you can certainly bend a little bit, or as I mentioned earlier, grab a ball or a yoga block or a towel roll between the knees, and that can help maybe offset those hip flexors a little bit. Okay, but otherwise what we're going to do, kind of like serving a tray, right? So we're going to inhale as we reach those arms forward, and exhale as you bend. Good. Inhale to reach, and exhale, bend. Good. Keep going. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Now take your time with finding that full extension in those arms. Okay, so we're not just quickly, powering through this motion. I want you to control it. Let's take 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Bring those arms out to a T. We're doing like little bear hugs. So squeeze, work those pecs, and release. Good. And pull. Good. And release. The arms can go past your trunk. Just don't let the ribs splay out. So keep those ribs pulling in. Use your breath to help get those abdominals really secure. Good. And you should feel those pecs. Right. Squeeze from the chest. Nice. Good. Squeeze. Let's do one more. Good. And press. Good. And release. Elbows go back into your sides. Okay, we're going right into that spine stretch we did earlier. Okay, so we're going to inhale as we're sitting nice and tall. Exhale, we're going to nod our chin down. As we start to peel that spine away from that imaginary wall, we're reaching our arms forward. Good. Now we're going to inhale as we stack up that spine. Keep those arms up by the ears. Good. Then let those arms reach out wide to a T, and then elbows come back in. And that was 1. So we have an inhale as we're sitting tall, and an exhale as we start to dive forward. Arms and spine are reaching together. Make sure that belly is pulling back. Inhale, restack that spine all the way back up. Bring those arms up to the ceiling. Control this with the core. Inhale, open those arms out wide to a T, and exhale, release. Inhale to prep, and exhale, chin to chest, reaching those arms long. Good. Inhale, stack that spine all the way up. Good. Release those arms back down, and elbows return. We have 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale, stack that spine back up. Pull those shoulders away from those ears. Inhale, open, and exhale in. And last one. Inhale, tall, and exhale. Nod that chin forward. Good. Inhale, stack on back up. Good. Open out wide. And release. Down. You can close that carriage all the way and hang up those handles. That was great. I'm swinging my legs around. I'm going to put all my springs back on. We're going to grab our box. We're going to go into some side plank series. Okay. So make sure it's positioned right into the middle. Okay. And safely watch your step as you step on, and make sure you have your strap. Okay. So the strap should be kind of around the ankle. All right. My other knee is bent forward. Okay. So we want to make sure we're going to go into our kind of side. So we want to be a nice straight angle. Okay. So we don't want to really jam up into this hip. Reach that hip nice and long. Okay. Almost think about tractioning that hip out. And I'm going to put my hand right on my headrest. Okay. I'm going to bring my other hand right behind my head. So we're going to kind of bend down, right? And crunch back up. So you're finding those obliques here as we bend down. So we're using that arm for a little assist, and press. Good. And down. Good. And press. Nice. And down. So I'm starting to let my arm kind of come off a little bit. Okay. So you can be the judge there. Down. And reach. Now I'm going to challenge myself even more. I'm going to bring my other hand here. And if this was more challenging, or challenging enough, I should say, keep it there. If not, bring those hands both over your head. Let that bottom leg in that strap really help support you. Okay, so lower down and reach. Good. Down. Exhale up. Good. 2 more. and reach. Last one. Down and reach. Nice. Oh, very good. That's always such a killer. Let's spin around. We'll go to side 2. Okay, so my front leg is bent on top of that box. Okay, make sure this leg is reaching out nice and long. That strap is around the ankle. My hand is resting on that shoulder, or excuse me, the headrest, and my other hand is supporting my head. Okay, we're going to bend down, let the elbow bend as your trunk reaches over that box. And exhale, you find your tricep a little bit and those obliques, of course. And inhale as we lower, and exhale as you press. Good, inhale, lower, and exhale, press. Nice. And press. So I'm starting to lift the hand off a little bit, let my abs control this motion. Okay, now I'm going to start adding a little bit more challenge by placing my hand, both hands behind my head. Here we go. Inhale to lower, and exhale, press. Good, just a few of these. And press. Last 2. And press. So really use that bottom leg, anchor that leg up into this trap, give you some support. Good. Release the hands down, release the tension of that strap. We're going to find a figure 4 stretch. Cross one ankle over and just hinge forward. Okay, and switch. If you need more time in these stretches, please feel free. Good, and then release. Okay, we're going to finish with our mermaid stretch, right? Because that was just a lot of obliques. So we're going to stretch it out. I'm bumping down just to one heavy spring. Again, I have all heavy springs on mine, so I'm keeping this pretty light. I want it to be more restorative than a lot of effort. Okay, so but again, feel free to adjust your own needs. The leg closest to the shoulder blocks, the shin is kind of pressed up against the shoulder blocks. My hand is going to be right in the middle of my foot bar. Okay, we're going to take a nice good inhale, pushing in to the foot bar as we side bend up and over. Good, and then release. So feel like you're making a big arc or rainbow as you're kind of painting the ceiling. And release. One more. Reach up and over. This time we're going to thread the needle. So reach for the other side of your reformer. Hold on to either the wooden frame or the steel frame. Get a little rotational stretch. Good, let's return back over. Good, and then close. We're going to do one more. Inhale, up and over as you push that arm away. And then bring both hands to the foot bar. Your chest is facing the spring. So we're going to keep those elbows wide as we bend in and press away. So we're still keeping our belly pulled in and press. Good, so it's an inhale. Exhale, keep those shoulders out of the ears. 2 more. Exhale, 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, press. I'm bringing that hand back to the middle of the foot bar. Reach the other arm up and over. And close that carriage. I'm going to take a nice counter stretch. Hold on to your shoulder blocks. Reach the other arm up and over. And feel good counter stretch there. Nice. Feels so good. All right, so I'm going to just switch and kind of fan my legs. I'm going to be facing behind you, so sorry about that. Make sure that shin is positioned in front of your shoulder blocks, hands in the middle. Your hips should be glued down. Here we go. We're pushing with that hand on the foot bar as the carriage goes out. Find a nice good side bend stretch. And exhale, release. Good. Paint a nice big rainbow up and over. Make space with your body here. Good, and this one up and over. Now thread that needle, hold the outside of that frame, find a nice good stretch there. Beautiful. Good, return that arm overhead again, and exhale, release. And one more, so we're going to inhale up and over. Good, now bring that chest down to the springs, widen your hands on the foot bar. Let's do push-ups now, keeping the elbows in. Okay, so we're elbows in, and press away. So a little bit more tricep. The tension's pretty light, so Not too much work, but a little extra. Really think about extending those elbows. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. 1 more. And exhale. Stay out and bring that other arm up and over. And then release the carriage. Hold on to those shoulder blocks. Lift up and over for a nice, good counter stretch. Make sure we're breathing. Good. Close that arm. I'm going to turn around back to face you. But that'll do it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Nice, short and sweet, full body workout, utilizing the box for just one of the exercises and including some of our mat repertoire into our reformer work, which I always love. So again, enjoy it. And